first base, Bill Hales. And at third base, Matt Basham.
It is a beautiful day for playoff baseball here on Spanish Fork 17. It is the Dons up against the Dixie Flyers here in the first game of the semifinal round here of the 4A State Championship. We are out here at Bruce Hurst Field on the beautiful campus of Dixie State University. This game, of course, happening because the Dons have been able to work through a kind of a fairly brutal schedule here in the playoffs. Their lone loss thus far coming to Desert Hills, who will be playing in the game immediately following this one. So please join with me, though, as we take some time to listen to our national anthem. Thanks for listening into the national anthem. Always a great way to start a ball game. Again, our last game here on Spanish Fork, we saw the Dons take down the Bear River Bears on a score of 7-4. Big hits from Josh Dart, Cy Nielsen. Really the top of the order there as well, Andrew Pintar and Tay Newman. Key in that victory, Cy Nielsen with the start on that one was a rough start really for both teams, as the first inning of that game really saw a lot of runs. It was 3 runs for Bear River, 2 for Spanish Fork, but then the Dons really came out in that second inning, getting 3 more runs and really cruised to victory behind that offense and behind the arm of Tay Newman, who came into relief for Cy Nielsen at that point, pitched 4 2/3 innings of shutout ball for the Dons and really saved their season in so many ways, in the sense that he obviously came in and won the game for them, but also able to preserve Cy Nielsen's arm for potentially an opportunity for him to pitch today, or if they're able to advance to the championship, an opportunity for Nielsen to be pitching in that one. Our starting lineup here for the Dons starts off with Tay Newman, who you see there getting all ready for the first at bat of the game. It'll be Newman, Josh Dart, Andrew Pintar, Cy Nielsen, Hunter Clark, Noah Conway, Morley Bennett, Cade Randolph, and Skylar Horain for the Dons to get things going. On the mound for the Dixie Flyers is Cooper Vest, their kind of 1A ace. He's a southpaw, as you see him warming up here. He has been absolutely phenomenal this season. The ERA he has thus far, according to Max Preps, is a 1.48 ERA, 6 wins on the season. Has appeared in 9 games, 7 of those starts, 4 complete games, 2 shutouts, and 1 of those shutouts was a no-hitter. So this Cooper kid, he can pitch. So we'll see what they're going to be able to do. Such a great pitcher. It's really going to be, I think, a fantastic. We've got great pitching on both sides with on the mound for the Dons. Both teams definitely know how to runs across the plate, so it should be a fun one. It'll be one of the difficult games that the Dons have had to do all season. Currently ranked at number 2 the entire class of 4A here in Utah, and their region foe, Desert Hills, fell to. As we get ready here for the first pitch of this one, Newman takes it in for strike one. Newman off for the Dons all season long and has been a key part of the defense as well over there at third base. This one taken high and outside, evens up the count at 1-1. Newman thus far on the season a .380 batting average, so certainly doing his job from the leadoff spot. That a rocket sent over to shortstop. Able to make the play over there is Kaylor Yates. That'll be the first out. A sharp line drive out there to the shortstop. It will bring up handed hitting Josh Dart. Dart, a key part of against Bear River to them rolling here in the playoff to take that one just inside for ball one. Over there first. Back on over to Cooper, and that is going to be out number He's on catching duty today for the Flyers. After him will be the top of the order, starting off with Kaylor Yates. This thing absolutely crushed down that third base line. It will stay fair, and they will do a good job of getting it in and holding him up at first base, but an absolute rocket from the number 9 hitter of the Flyers. And the second hit of the ball game here for the Flyers comes in the bottom half of the third, and from their number 9 hitter. Nice job there by Welch. Pinch running, so running speed up there for the Flyers is Kobe Ray. Obviously wanted to give their catcher some rest. Yates is going to take that one in the dirt for ball 1. Yates in his first at bat grounded out to Andrew Pintar over there at short. And we are now live once again. We have been able to work through some technical difficulties with our stream. We will do our best to keep ourselves on the air. And thank you so much for tuning in here with us on Spanish Fork 17 and on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Spanish Fork 17. Again, we will do our best to keep ourselves on the air and give you live coverage of this one down here in St. George. A pickoff move, and he absolutely nails him over there at first base. Getting a little greedy on his leadoff there was Kobe Ray. And Mason Nielsen does a great job of snapping that throw over to first. Dart lays down the tag, and that is the second out of the inning. So a bit of unfortunate base running, as you will, for the Flyers. As Kobe Ray is thrown out there, that one once again in the dirt. So that makes it a 2-1 count here to Kaylor Yates. Again, Yates not your typical leadoff hitter. This guy has some dangerous power. That is going to even up the count at 2-2. A nice curveball there from Nielsen. So Kobe Ray comes in to speed up run for the Flyers. That one is going to be lined over to Newman, and that is going to end the inning. So Nielsen gets out of it clean as we move over to the fourth in this one on Spanish Fork 17.
Need a new car or truck? Come to the guys you trust. The Car Guys are part of the Blue Diamond Auto Group, and they have the best selection of quality vehicles at the best prices for your budget. The Blue Diamond Auto Group with the Car Guys at 872 North Main in Spanish Fork.
Finally got me, Ben.
What's that, Rick?
The Clark Street crater, the mother of all potholes. Got me good.
But you know State Farm's got you too.
You ain't nothing!
Go with the one that's here to help life go right.
In Spanish Fork, see your good neighbors State Farm agent Lance Wilson.
Hi, welcome to Two Jacks Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to Two Jacks Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
I definitely recommend the Driggs team. They're amazing.
Hi, I'm Greg with the Driggs Mortgage Team, where we believe there's no substitute for experience. Stop by our office today on Main Street and let us help you get into your brand new home.
A scoreless ball game through 3 here on Spanish Fork 17. It's the Dons up against the Dixie Flyers here in the first of the semifinal round of the 4A state playoffs. The winner of this one will play the loser of the game immediately following between Salem Hills and Desert Hills. The winner of that one will be all ready to go for the championship game that starts tomorrow. And so it's do or die time here for the Dons as we are in the 4th inning of game. Thus far, that has been a pitcher's duel between Cooper Vest and Mason Nielsen, both scoreless through 3, and it brings up the top of the order for the Dons. Tay Newman once again up. And he is going to take that one for ball 1, not missing by much there. Newman lined out to the shortstop in his first at-bat. Newman was a key part of the win against Bear River, both at the plate and on the mound. This one, a grounder over there to the shortstop, and unable to gobble that one up is Kaylor Yates. But it will go down as an infield single there for Tay Newman. So first hit of the ball game for the Dons comes here in the top half of the 4th. And so it'll be Newman over there at first base, and it'll be Josh Dart digging in for the Dons. big lefty in the lineup batting in the 2-hole today for the Dons. He's going to square away to bunt, playing a little small ball here, trying to generate a run. That one is going to be tipped there, a little foul tip there. So an 0-1 count now to Josh Dart. Dart grounded out to first in his first plate appearance. We'll see what he's able to do now with Newman over there at first base. The Dons hoping to be the first team to put a run on the board today. He once again squares away to bunt, and once again he will miss on this one as well. So it moves the count to 0-2. You would have to think that Coach Nelson will take the bunt off now at this point and just go ahead and let Dart swing and see what he can do with the bat. Again, Dart on the season a .351 hitter, so certainly a capable hitter from that left side. This one is going to be fouled away over into the bleachers. Thankfully, nobody sitting over in that particular section. Kids running for that foul ball, always fun.
Please return all foul balls to the dugout. Thank you.
Again, the Dons have had an absolutely phenomenal season. We're able to win Region 10 with a clinching win that we got to see on Spanish Fork 17 against Salem Hills. That one is snapped over to first base to keep Newman honest on his lead. Salem Hills is actually going to be, as I said, in that championship game, potentially, if they can beat Desert Hills in the afternoon game here today. So Salem Hills has been absolutely on fire since that loss to the Dons. They actually beat up the Dons in the regular season finale. That one is sky high foul behind the backstop. They won again, Salem Hills won 14-1 in that regular season finale and have just been rolling ever since. Their particular schedule actually through the playoffs has been rather tough. Like they've had to play some tough opponents, including this Dixie team. They were able to defeat the Flyers and get themselves into keep themselves in the winner's bracket. That one is taken for a ball, so the count now 1-2 to Dart. Also doing well is the Maple Mountain Golden Eagles. We haven't been able to cover any of their games thus far, but they are still alive and well in the 5A state playoffs. In fact, they are currently playing right now, as that is a beautiful pitch from Vest. Rings up Dart as he is caught looking on that one. So second strikeout of the game for Cooper Vest. One out now in the bottom of the fourth, and it'll bring up Andrew Pintar. But again, as I was saying about Maple Mountain, they are currently playing Viewmont in the 5A state playoffs. If they are able to advance, they will move on to play at UVU on Tuesday. And so good luck to the Golden Eagles, who have also had a phenomenal season. Count is 1-0 to the dangerous shortstop in the Dons lineup. Pintar grounded out in his last at bat, hoping to do some damage here in his second at bat with Newman over there at first base. Obviously for the Dons, Newman one of their speedier runners, and so they'd love to figure out a way to get him into scoring position here with Andrew Pintar up at the plate and Cy Nielsen over there taking some cuts on the on-deck circle. This thing crushed out into center field, but a nice play made out there by Blake Oakes. Gives us the second out of the inning. But for the Dons, it does bring up the big cleanup hitter, Cy Nielsen, with Newman still over there at first base. Again, the road to the playoffs here was not necessarily an easy one for the Dons. They had to start things off against Ridgeline. They won that one 3-2. They beat Park City in extra innings. Both of those games were at Nelson Field. They then went to Ogden, as this one is going to be thrown over to second base. And Newman is going to be thrown out at second. A great throw over there from Chandler Welch to gun down the speedy third baseman. That's going to end the top half of the fourth inning here, and it will move us on to the bottom half of the fourth. This one's still scoreless, and gives us an opportunity to thank our wonderful sponsors. That is 2 Jack's Pizza MVP Sports, the Car Guys at the Blue Diamond Auto Group, McKell, Thompson, and Wise, attorneys at law, Triple T, Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, State Farm, Lance Wilson, and the Driggs Mortgage Team. So a caught stealing is what ends the inning there for the Dons, as Nielsen will come back up to start things off in the 5th, with Newman getting cut down there at second base. And it puts Mason Nielsen back on the mound for the Dons. He has been fantastic for them, only allowed 2 hits and scoreless through these first 3 innings. He will deal with Blake Oaks, Cooper Vest, and Brendan Blanchard for the Flyers. So 2, 3, and 4 for the Flyers coming in to the bottom half of the 4th inning. Again, as I said, the Dons, when they made it out to Ogden, lost against Desert Hills. That game, a 5-2 loss for the Dons. They were able to then rebound and beat Bear River on a score of 7-4. That one is going to be taken for ball 1 by Oaks. And so here the Dons are up against the Dixie Flyers, who their loss in this 4A state playoffs thus far has been to Salem Hills, one of our Region 10 foes. And really, the story of this tournament has been the teams from Region 9 and Region 10, as deep runs have been made by most of these teams. That one is going to be taken just on that inside corner. A beautiful pitch from Mason Nielsen moves the count to 1-2 on Blake Oaks. And he's going to ring him up. A beautiful, beautiful pitch there from Nielsen. Catches that outside corner. He gets his 2nd strikeout of the game on that one.
Now to play for the Flyers, number 7, the pitcher, Cooper Vest.
Again, Salem Hills still in that winner's bracket from Region 10. Spanish Fork, of course, here, and Lehigh actually made a nice run here in the playoffs as well. Their final loss coming to this very same Dixie Flyers team. They lost 4-0 in the game that advanced Dixie here to this game. And then for Region 10, it's been, obviously they've been Region 9, my apologies, Region 9. You have Dixie, who is the number 2 ranked team in the state in 4A. Their rivals, Desert Hills, being number 1. And they are still alive and well, as they will be playing Salem Hills in that winner's bracket. That one taken for a strike. So the count is now 1-2 to Cooper Vest. Vest with a single in his first at bat, and he's going to send this one over towards first, and it is going to find its way into foul territory. So he keeps himself alive here in this 1-2 count. 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. The score still scoreless here down at Bruce Hurst Field on the beautiful campus of Dixie State University. It is Cooper Vest up for the Flyers. He is also on the mound for the Flyers as well. And really, it has been, the story of this game has been these 2 players right here. Mason Nielsen, who's able to get Vest to ground out over to first. And really, Vest has been so impressive on the mound for the Flyers. It has been just a very big lack of offense, but man, the pitching has been phenomenal in this particular game. So 2 outs here in the bottom half of the 4th inning after that ground out to first base. It brings up Brendan Blanchard for the Flyers. Nielsen just misses that outside corner on that one. So a 1-0 count here to Blanchard. Blanchard, one of the 2 strikeout victims thus far in this. Nielsen does catch the outside corner. Nice paint job there from Nielsen. Moves the count to 1-1. A curveball that is ripped out into the alley there, and this is going to be extra bases for the Flyers. Flying over to second base is Brendan Blanchard, and he will get himself a 2-out double and get the crowd absolutely roaring. Again, the crowd here today in St. George is mostly for Dixie because, well, they live here. So you'll see when we show the crowd, there is a lot of blue out there, but that doesn't mean there aren't plenty of Spanish Fork faithful in the crowd as well. But a huge 2-out rip there from Brendan Blanchard now brings up Reggie Graf for the Flyers. Runner on second here in the bottom of the fourth, cut on there and missed by Graf for strike one. It's the second Dixie Flyer to be over there in scoring position. Thus far, have not been able to capitalize on that, as Nielsen has done a good job of getting out of things. This one hits Graf, so he will make his way over to first base after that hit by pitch. So now the most dangerous situation for either team at this point here in the bottom of the fourth. Runners on first and second here for the Flyers. Brings up A.J. Levitt. Levitt grounded out to the third baseman in his first at bat in the second inning. Now up in the fourth, hoping to do some damage. A nice curveball worked in there by Nielsen for strike one. So Nielsen now with three hits on the game and a hit by pitch. So certainly there have been Flyers on base, but they've not been able to capitalize thus far, as the count is now evened up here at 1-1 to Levitt. Levitt, a .342 hitter on the season. That curveball is popped up way high in the sky, but Horain under it and is able to end the inning there. A little bit of a jam, but they're able to get out of it as we head to the fifth inning here on Spanish Fork 17.
Nobody plans on getting in an accident, but if it does happen, you can rely on the expertise of Mike McKell to protect and fight for your rights. Specializing in personal injury law, Mike McKell is the attorney you need. Contact Mike at McKell, Thompson & Wise.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
MVP Sports is the #1 source for sporting goods in Spanish Fork. Football, soccer, all the fall sports, we've got you covered. Check out our new custom t-shirt builder. Design at home and we'll build it for you. MVP Sports, 72 North Main in Spanish Fork.
Welcome back to 17. We are in St. George for the 4A state playoffs. It is the Spanish Fork Dons up against the Dixie Flyers. This one's scoreless thus far, as we are here in the fifth inning of this one. It has been an absolute treat to watch, as both pitchers have been just absolutely brilliant on the mound. For the Flyers, that has been Cooper Vest, the southpaw for the Flyers. Definitely dealing thus far for them. Only one hit allowed in this one, 2 strikeouts. Really has been fantastic with his location and really has been fooling these Dons hitters all day long. On the Dons side, it has been all about Mason Nielsen, who has allowed 3 hits, has hit a batter, but otherwise has been absolutely fantastic for the Dons. So it is scoreless through 4 as we are here in the top of the 5th inning. It'll start off with Cy Nielsen, move over to Hunter Clark, and then to Noah Conway for the Dons. Nielsen was up in the previous inning, but Tay Newman was thrown out trying to steal second base. This one tapped foul by Nielsen, so the count moves to 0-1. Nielsen, a very successful game at the plate against Bear River in the Dons' last game. Was 2 for 4 on the day, drove in 2 runs, and was a key part of getting things going for the Dons and getting that offense alive so that they could win that one. Unfortunately, had a harder game at the mound than usual, only going 2 1/3 and allowing 3 runs in that one. So not the best day on the mound. Thankfully, Tay Newman came in and shut things down. But again, as I've said before, Cy Nielsen, really the heart and soul of this Dons team, as he's going to take that one outside for ball 2. So the count is now 2-1 here to the cleanup hitter for the Dons. Here comes that 2-1 pitch. That one right down Main Street for strike 2. So An even count here at 2-2 to the number 4 hitter in the Dons lineup. 22 RBIs driven in on the season for Cy Nielsen, so really the big run producer in this lineup. He's going to swing on and miss on that one, so third strikeout of the day for Cooper Vest. And a big first out here in the top of the 5th there for the Flyers, getting the big bat of Nielsen out to start things off. It's going to bring up Hunter Clark for the Dons, who is the designated hitter today. He lined out to center, hit a rocket out there, but unfortunately basically right at the center fielder in his first at bat. This one he's going to tap behind the plate there. Again, the winner of this one here will play the winner of the game that immediately follows. That will be Desert Hills up against Salem Hills. The winner of that one moving directly on to the championship round. The loser of that one having to go through the winner of this one to get the privilege of trying to score some revenge. And for the Dons, you're certainly hoping to exact some revenge on both of those teams at this point, as the count now moves to 2-1 to Hunter Clark. For Desert Hills, the Dons, that is their one loss thus far in the playoffs, is to that Desert Hills team, as that one is cut on and missed. Moves the count to 2-2. And then for Salem Hills, it's a region foe, a team that the Dons are very familiar with and have split the season series with thus far, and they would love to be able to avenge that 14-1 loss that they took in the regular season finale, as that one's going to be taken just low. So a full count here to Hunter Clark. Here comes that full count pitch, and he's going to swing on and miss. Beautiful pitch there from Vest. 2 straight strikeouts to start off the top half of the 5th inning. So now 4 strikeouts on the game from Cooper Vest. It now brings up Noah Conway for the Dons.
Now for Spanish Fork, number 19, the right fielder, Noah Conway.
That one a big cut and a miss from Conway. So a first pitch strike there by Vest. So an 0-1 count. Conway struck out in his last at bat against the Southpaw. See if he can figure out a way to not replicate that. That one taken for ball 1, so an even count here at 1-1. Conway 231 on the season batting average, 12 RBIs, so has been a key contributor in this lineup, as that one is going to be taken for a ball. Conway typically bats in the 5 or 6 spot, so he's definitely asked to be an RBI producer, as Nielsen is one that definitely gets on base a lot, and so a lot of those RBIs from Conway have been driving in Andrew Pintar and Cy Nielsen, who have just been phenomenal this season at getting on base. And so the top half of this Dons lineup needs guys like Noah Conway to step up and deliver, as he's going to swing and miss at that one. So another evened up count here at 2-2. Again, the score here is 0-0. A brilliant pitcher's duel from Cooper Vest and Mason Nielsen thus far. This one crushed out to left field, but a nice play out there will end the top half of the 5th inning. Conway tags it, but unfortunately that one is caught, so the score is still 0-0 here as we move on to the bottom half of the 5th. Gives us an opportunity to thank our fantastic sponsors who make these broadcasts possible here on Spanish Fork 17. That's the car guys at the Blue Diamond Auto Group, Mikkel Thompson and Wise, attorneys at law, Triple T Heating, Cooling and Plumbing, State Farm Lance Wilson, the Driggs Mortgage Team, MVP Sports, and 2 Jacks Pizza. So Cooper Vest living up to his billing as an absolute ace for this Flyers staff. 5 scoreless innings thus far, 4 strikeouts, only allowed 1 hit, and even that hit is kind of a questionable hit, as it was an infield single that was kind of bobbled there by the shortstop, but he has been everything that the Flyers could have asked him to be in this particular game. But on the other side of things, you could say the exact same thing about Mason Nielsen, who has pitched 4 shutout innings thus far, only allowed 3 hits, a hit by pitch, and has struck out 2. So as we're heading here to the bottom half of the 5th inning. It really just has been just a pleasure to watch both of these pitchers go to work on the mound. And that one is crushed out into center field. Nielsen giving chase, and it is going to be over his head, and it's going to be extra bases for the Flyers. So another double here for the Flyers. This one off the bat of Hunter Knighton. And that is going to start things off the right way for the Flyers here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. As you see, the weather conditions are kind of getting a little rainy here. As you see, there's going to be a conference here on the mound to discuss things here with Mason Nielsen. That's 2 extra base hits that thus far have come off of Flyers bats at this point. So they're going to discuss things over, make sure that Nielsen is doing okay, and hopefully they can get to a place where they can get themselves out of this jam and keep things rolling here in this scoreless ball game. Again, we're here at Bruce Hurst Field on the beautiful campus of Dixie State University for the 4A state playoffs, and it is really starting to pour now here on the field, as that is going to be squared away for a bunt, and it is going to be tapped foul there by Brighton Oaks. Oaks grounded out to the shortstop in his first plate appearance here today, hoping to do damage here with a runner in scoring position. In this case, it looks like they're trying to advance Knighton over to third base and then hoping for a sacrifice fly opportunity potentially, with Chandler Welch coming up after Oaks. So the Flyers had not been seeing Nielsen particularly well through the first 3 innings. Blanchard then roped a 2-out double in the 4th, and now a leadoff double by Hunter Knighton to get things going for the Flyers. So it looks like they're maybe potentially starting to see Nielsen a little bit better, as this thing is looped just past Pintar, and that could be dangerous. They are going to hold him up there at second base, so Knighton will move over to third, and Oaks will get a single there. So 2 straight hits from the Flyers, and now there is some danger here for Nielsen and for the Dons, as this game is getting perilously close to no longer being a scoreless ball game. So runners at the corners here with no outs in the bottom of the 5th. It will bring up Chandler Welch for the Flyers. Welch had a single in the 3rd. If he's able to replicate that, that will bring in the first run of the ball game on either side and break up this fantastic pitcher's duel that's been going on. Tries to go for the bunt, unsuccessful. He will take that for strike 1. Welch on the season a .234 hitter, 12 RBIs. So not bad there from that number 9 spot, as that one looked like it almost hit Welch. They're saying it doesn't, but able to advance on indifference there is Brighton Oaks. So now it is 2 runners in scoring position here. So runners on second and third, with Welch up, hoping to be the one that delivers that big hit or that big sacrifice that finally puts a run on the board here in this one. The count is 2-1 to the Flyers catcher. This one paints that outside corner. Once again, that curveball from Mason Nielsen has been absolutely electric thus far. Has been able to really work that outside corner against right-handed pitchers. He's going to step off the mound to collect his thoughts, and again, the count here is 2-2 to Chandler Welch. It is the bottom of the 5th. There are runners on second and third for the Flyers. Really one of the first opportunities for either team to really put runs on the board. This one just barely tapped by Welch as he keeps himself alive here in this 2-2 count. Up after Welch would be the top of the order for the Flyers, so it would be Kaylor Yates. After him would be Blake Oaks. So definitely an important time here for the Dons, as he gets a swing and a miss there from Chandler Welch. third strikeout of the game for Mason Nielsen, and coming at a very important time here in the bottom of the fifth.
Now the plate for the Flyers, number 4, the shortstop, Taylor Yates.
But certainly the guy that the Flyers want up at the plate at this point is the guy digging in right now, Taylor Yates, who has been an absolute superstar for the Flyers this year at the plate. 9 home runs, 19 stolen bases, just ridiculous numbers all around. So if anyone's going to break this game open for the Flyers, it definitely feels like Yates is the guy that's going to do it for them. As that one was in the dirt, so it's a 1-0 count here to the dangerous leadoff hitter for the Flyers. Thus far, he's 0 for 2 on the game, grounded out and lined out to the shortstop. As you see, everyone driving, that thing is crushed out into left field. That is certainly going to be deep enough to score the first run of the game. Bennett gets it in, but not before the first run of the game crosses the plate. You hear the crowd going nuts, as that's the first run of the game for the Flyers, first run of the game altogether. This thing had been nothing to nothing through these first 5 innings, and finally somebody breaks the shutout, and it is going to be a sacrifice fly there from Taylor Yates, and that was as close to the fence as you can possibly get. He absolutely tagged that thing. Didn't quite have enough carry to hit the fence or get over the fence, but it is still that first run of the game. Knighton scoring on the sac fly. This thing tagged out into the outfield. This one going to be danger, and is going to hit the wall, and that's going to be a triple for Blake Oaks, and this game is busting open here in the bottom of the 5th inning for the Flyers. Finally really seeing the ball off of Mason Nielsen's hand. This one just tagged out there by Blake Oaks. Gets himself a triple T triple on that one. Score now 2-0 after two big knocks there. One a sacrifice fly by Yates, the other a triple by Blake Oaks. Oaks scoring Oaks on that particular play. Brighton Oaks, the runner on that one. So 2-0 here in the bottom of the 5th, as the Flyers are really getting the offense rolling here in the bottom of the 5th against Mason Nielsen. That one taken for a ball there by Cooper Vest. And they are going to go ahead and intentionally walk Vest. An interesting move there from Coach Nelson, as it creates the force out over there at second base, and it makes it so you're dealing with Blanchard as opposed to Vest. Blanchard, though, in his last at bat, hit a frozen rope out to center that ended up being a double. So we'll see if this is a strategy that ends up paying off, as the off-speed pitch is swung on and missed there by Blanchard. Moves the count to 0-1. So runners at the corners here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. Mason Nielsen hoping to get out of this jam with only 2 runs, but 90 feet away is potentially the 3rd run of the game for the Flyers. That one is going to miss low and outside, so evens up the count here at 1-1. Again, Harrison Beezer running speed up for the Flyers for Cooper Vest. That one is just going to miss that outside corner, moves the count now to 2-1. So on the one hand, Blanchard did hit that double, but on the other hand, he did strike out in his first plate appearance in the first inning. That one just barely tapped foul, so evens up the count here at 2-2. So a sacrifice fly by Taylor Yates and a triple T triple by Blake Oaks finally puts some runs on the scoreboard here today in St. George. So a 2-0 game here. The Flyers over the Dons at this point here in the bottom of the 5th. Here comes that 2-2 pitch. This one sent over towards Dart and underneath his glove. An unfortunate break there for the Dons, as that's going to score a run, and it's going to move Beezer from first over to third. So runners on the corners once again there for the Flyers, as it looks like Dart had that one. It was going to be a fairly routine play over there at first base. Instead, somehow it sneaks underneath his glove, and this rally here in the fifth continues to go right along, and we've got another conference on the mound, and this could potentially be it here for Mason Nielsen. In fact, that is what it's looking like as we see another pitcher jogging in here. Still a fantastic effort here from Mason Nielsen, 4 2/3 in this one. 3 runs allowed, 7 hits, did have 3 strikeouts, did his part to keep this ball game close, and so certainly not the worst effort here from Mason Nielsen. He was absolutely brilliant through 4 innings and was really very close to getting out of this jam here in the 5th. Warming up now for the Dons is Mason Olson. Olson, one of the key cogs in this Spanish Fork rotation. There's some confusion as the Max Preps roster shows him as number 20, but he is in fact number 28. So the southpaw on the mound here for the Dons. Again, he has been kind of pitcher number 3 in a sense for the Dons this season, and has been just as important as the Nielsen brothers on this one. So far on the season, so far on the season, Olson has been fantastic. 1.67 ERA, has 4 wins, has made 9 appearances, a lot of those being starts here for the Dons, has eaten up 37 2/3 innings, and he is coming in relief of the other Mason Nielsen, hoping to get things stabilized here for the Dons and keep themselves in this 3-0 ball game. They're going to throw it over the first base to make sure to keep him close, as the previous runner over there at first was. They have been successful with runners on the corners at getting that guy from first over to second pretty easily. Olson gets that one on the outside corner for strike 1. Up for the Flyers is Reggie Graf. He was hit by a pitch in his last at bat. Flew out to left field in his first at bat of the game. That one on the outside corner, but they are going to say that one misses, so an even count here at 1-1. Again, Mason Olson coming in now to relieve Mason Nielsen in this semifinal round of the playoffs here against the Dixie Flyers. Cut on and missed there by Graf. Moves the count to 1-2. The Dons hoping to get out of this one with no more damage done, and hopefully can get things rolling with the bats in the top of the 6th, as that thing is cut on and missed. They will send it over to first base, and that will be the end of the 5th, but not before 3-run score by the Flyers. But it takes us to the 6th inning of this one here on Spanish Fork 17.
Need a new car or truck? Come to the guys you trust. The Car Guys are part of the Blue Diamond Auto Group, and they have the best selection of quality vehicles at the best prices for your budget. The Blue Diamond Auto Group with the Car Guys at 872 North Main in Spanish Fork.
Finally got me, Ben.
What's that, Rick?
The Clark Street crater, the mother of all potholes. Got me good.
But you know State Farm's got you too.
You ain't nothing.
Go with the one that's here to help life go right.
In Spanish Fork, see your good neighbors State Farm agent Lance Wilson.
Hi, welcome to 2 Jack's Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to 2 Jack's Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork, or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
I definitely recommend the Driggs team. They're amazing.
Hi, I'm Greg with the Driggs Mortgage Team, where we believe there's no substitute for experience. Stop by our office today on Main Street and let us help you get into your brand new home.
Welcome back to Spanish Fork 17 in our coverage of this 4A state playoff game. We are in the semifinal round at this point. It is the Spanish Fork Dons up against the Dixie Flyers. As you see the crew working on the field. It has been a little rainy here for the past bit, so they are trying to get things stabilized so that we can keep playing some baseball here, as the weather has kind of been inclement all over the state here recently. As you see a good picture here where you kind of see the rain falling and you see the rakes going and all the new dirt being thrown into the infield to try to get things soaked up and get things in a playable condition here. Through 5 innings, the score is 3-0 here. The Dixie Flyers over our Spanish Fork Dons. Dixie scoring all 3 of those runs in the last inning here, chasing Mason Nielsen and bringing in Mason Olson, who came in to relieve Nielsen, got the last out of the inning. But Nielsen was extremely strong through the first 4 innings, was pitching shutout ball, was really going pitch for pitch with ace Cooper Vest for the Flyers, but unfortunately there for the Dons faltered there in the 5th inning. A sac fly by Kaylor Yates, a RBI triple by Blake Oaks, and a single by Brendan Blanchard is what put the runs on the board for the Flyers. And so we are at 3-0 here, as we're potentially going to be able to head in here for the top of the 6th once they're able to manage the field conditions here. Again, both teams had absolutely just successful seasons thus far, as you get a view of the crowd here on their umbrellas trying to stay dry here on this spring day out here in St. George. Again, we are at Bruce Hurst Field at Dixie State University, one of my favorite ballparks here in the state. But both teams were absolutely phenomenal this season. Both of them won their region and came into this tournament as 1 seeds, and both ended up in the losers bracket. For Dixie, that was because of a loss to Salem Hills. For Spanish Fork, it was a loss to Desert Hills. Both of those teams are the teams that are currently sitting in the winners bracket and will be playing in the game that immediately follows this one. The loser of that one will then play the winner of this one after that. So a very busy day of baseball down here at Bruce Hurst Field. Again, we get a nice view of the lights here. That's actually some really cool coloring there from the lights created by the weather that's going on here. So again, the crew is working hard to get things in a playable condition here. We get a view of the scoreboard again. Score 3-0 here at Bruce Hurst Field. 7 hits for the Flyers as they come running out here for the top half of the 6th inning. We are going to hopefully be able to finish this ball game up, and along with that, hopefully be able to have the other 2 ball games here today and not have that affect the championship round, which would start tomorrow here for the 4A state playoffs. Again, the journey for both of these teams really has been phenomenal, and lots of senior leadership on both teams. And this has been a fun game to watch. It was a beautiful pitcher's duel through 4 innings, and you finally, in that 5th inning, got to see really what Dixie's offense is capable of. They have some very potent power hitters in this lineup, but you saw that sacrifice fly by Yates was about as close to a home run as you could get. That thing was on the warning track. It was absolutely mashed. If it had been better weather conditions, that thing probably could have been out of the ballpark. And then a triple by Blake Oaks, and Brendan Blanchard has had a great game for them as well. So you've definitely seen the might of this Flyers offense, and you've also seen the absolute brilliance of this guy on the mound that you just saw, Cooper Vest. He has been great through 5 innings thus far. Only 1 hit, and this is as we all know, this is a great Dons lineup that can put up runs in absolute bunches. And so the fact that Vest has really kept them down in this game is extremely impressive, and is kudos to how well he has pitched thus far in this one. Again, 5 shutout innings, 4 strikeouts, and only allowed that 1 hit. So for the Dons, it really is go time for them, as it's going to be the bottom part of the order that's going to be coming up for the Dons. It'll start off with Morley Bennett, then Cade Randolph. It'll then move over to Skylar Horain. And so really hoping for some offense here in the top half of the 6th inning to get themselves a little bit closer in this ball game and be able to keep themselves alive here in the 4A state playoffs. Again, this is a an opportunity to remind you that you can watch this game, of course, on our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/SpanishFork17, or you can go to sfcn.org. Again, you can check out this game and a lot of other content that we have on our YouTube channel. So please check us out. We've got some great content there. As we see Morley Bennett digging in here for the Dons. Bennett grounded out to the shortstop in his first at-bat. This one sent back to the backstop. That'll be strike one on the left fielder. Again, Morley Bennett usually plays out in center field when Cy Nielsen is on the mound, getting a start here over in left. That one was absolutely crushed down the third base line. Again, there's a reason that it's called the hot corner, as Hunter Knighton is able to come up with the catch there on that absolute screamer of a lineout. Up now is Cade Randolph for the Dons. Randolph also grounded out to shortstop in his last at bat, that one coming in the third inning. That one cut on for strike one. So thus far, even though he has allowed that one hit was thrown out at second base, trying to steal second. So Cooper Vest has actually gone through the minimum number of hitters thus far in this one, as the count is now 1-2 to Cade Randolph. This one taken outside, so evens up the count here at 2-2. So really, Cooper Vest has been just sensational here for the Flyers, and really the Dons just need to figure out any kind of way they can to get hits on him. This one blooped out into right field. A nice play out there by Jace Larkin. 2 outs here now in the top of the 6th after that fly out to right by Cade Randolph.
The catcher, Skylar Horain.
Skylar Horain now up for the Dons. This one laced just past the diving glove of the Flyers second baseman. Again, that is Brendan Blanchard over there. Absolutely went all out for that one, just barely misses it. So the Dons finally getting a second hit of the day, that one off the bat of number 9 hitter Skylar Horain, who will get a speed up runner. Dawson Lee coming into speed up run here for Horain. It will bring up the other guy with a base hit in this game, Tay Newman. Newman singled in the 4th. He did line out to the shortstop in his first at bat. Again, he was caught stealing in the 4th. We'll see what he's able to do here. This one crushed out into the outfield. Coming in to make the play is the left fielder, and that will be it there for the Dons in the top half of the 6th. They finally get another base hit, but unable to do anything with it as we move over to the bottom half of the 6th, and this one still 3-0. It gives us an opportunity to thank our wonderful sponsors and for all that they do to make these broadcasts possible here on Spanish Fork 17. That's McKell Thompson and Wise, attorneys at law, the car guys at the Blue Diamond Auto Group, the Driggs Mortgage Team, State Farm, Lance Wilson, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, 2 Jack's Pizza, and MVP Sports. As we see Mason Olson warming up there on the mound. Olson coming in relief of Mason Nielsen in that past inning. All 3 of the Flyers' runs scored in the bottom half of the 5th. Olson came in, got that last out, and is hoping to put up another 0 on the scoreboard here for the Dons. The Dons will need to score at least 3 runs at this point to keep their season alive here down in St. George. Thankfully for them, it will be the heart of their order for the most part that will be up for them, as it'll be Dart, Pintar, and Nielsen for them. Again, you get a view of Mason Olson there, the southpaw for the Dons. Really has been sensational for the Dons, just as important as Cy and Mason Nielsen. Really has done such a great job. He's a strikeout pitcher. He's got 43 strikeouts on the season thus far. And so they are hoping for another scoreless inning here so that they can keep their hopes alive here in the 4A state playoffs. Here's that first pitch from Olson. That one is going to just barely miss for ball 1. Up for the Flyers is A.J. Levitt. That one is also going to just barely miss. Olson trying to nip these corners, but not necessarily getting the calls that he would like. So an early 2-0 count here to A.J. Levitt. That one is also going to miss. So 3 straight balls here to lead off the bottom half of the 6th. Levitt grounded out to shortstop in his first appearance, and he popped up to the catcher in his last one. This one is going to be a 4 straight balls walk there for Mason Olson. So the leadoff runner on here in the bottom half of the 6th for the Flyers, as their offense has really come alive here since that 5th inning. And for the Flyers, they're definitely hoping to continue what they had rolling in their previous inning. Up now is Hunter Knighton for the Flyers. He was a big part of that 5th inning rally. He had a double and was able to score in the inning. This a big swinging, able to just tip that one is Knighton. So count now 0-1. Squaring away to bunt is Knighton. That one is going to just find its way foul. That thing was absolutely dangerous there on the first base line, just squeaks its way foul. So Knighton will make his way back to the plate and is in a hole here, 0-2. Again, there's a speed-up runner for the Dixie Flyers. That's Kobe Ray over there. Kobe Ray had previously come into speed-up run for Chandler Welch. This thing ripped out into left. Morley Bennett will get to it, but it will drop in for a single there. So 2 straight guys on base here to start off the 6th inning here for the Flyers. So a walk to Levitt and a single there by Knighton puts things once again in a perilous position here for the Dons with the score 3-0. The Flyers are threatening to extend that lead here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. It will bring up Brighton Oaks for the Flyers. Squares up to bunt, pulls away, and that will be ball 1 to Oaks. So again, Ray over there at second base. Knighton at first. Oaks once again squaring up to bunt. Darting in to cover for that, but the ball sails high there from Olson, so the count moves to 2-0. Once again, squares for bunt. This one once again misses as Olson is really struggling with his command here in the 6th inning. So 3 straight balls here to Brighton Oaks. Runners on first and second, no outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. The score is 3-0. So the Dons in a hole here late in the game. Here's that pitch from Olson. This one finds the inside corner for strike 1. Able to keep himself going here in this at bat. But still a very good hitter's count here for Oaks at 3-1. He will square away to bunt once more. This one is laid down and it finds a nice little spot right in between Olson and Horain, who also had a bit of miscommunication as to who was grabbing it. So a bunt single there from Brighton Oaks loads the bases up here in the bottom of the 6th with no outs. So the Flyers really in a position here to extend this 3-run lead that they already have and really put the Dons in a tenuous position of trying to keep themselves alive here in the playoffs. And that looks like it is going to be it from the southpaw for the Dons, as he was unable to retire anyone here in the bottom of the 6th. So on the day for Mason Olson, a third of an inning, 2 hits, and a walk. All of the runners currently on for the Flyers would be his responsibility. Warming up now for the Dons at this point is Andrew Pintar, the shortstop, coming in from that position to take the mound. Pintar, one of the key relievers for this Dons team. Normally this would be a position where you would potentially see Tay Newman, but as he had to come in for Cy Nielsen in the game against Bear River, had to pitch 4 2/3, most likely not really truly available in this one. Josh Dart will move over to third base. Newman will make the move from third over to short, and that will be, I believe, Tyson Massey over there at, yes, that will be Tyson Massey over there at first base for the Dons. Again, Pintar, usually the shortstop for the Dons, but has come in this season to close things out at times. According to Max Preps, he's only pitched 2 1/3. I would think that he has pitched a little bit more than that. Again, Max Preps doesn't have all of Spanish Fork's games on their, all the stats entered in from their website, but Pintar is going to be asked to hopefully get 3 outs here and keep the Flyers from extending this lead. So that one's going to be taken just a bit outside for ball 1 there to Chandler Welch. So the number 9 hitter for the Flyers up with the bases loaded and no outs here in the bottom of the 6th. That one is going to be taken outside as well. So a 2-0 count to the catcher for the Flyers. Welch had a single in his first at-bat, struck out in his second one in the 5th inning. Oh, big cut at some high cheese there from Pintar. So the count moves to 2-1. Obviously the Dons are bringing their infield in to try to cut down the run at home, as this thing is sent out into the outfield by Welch, and it is going to be dangerous there, and it is going to be beyond the reach of Conway and Nielsen. That is going to at least be 2 runs. Yep, that is a 2-run RBI single there from the number 9 hitter Chandler Welch, and the game just blew open just a little bit more here for the Flyers as the score now moves to 5-0 after that 2 RBI single there by Welch. Kobe Ray scores on that one, as well as Hunter Knighton. Moves Brighton Oaks over to third base, and so a big knock there from the number 9 hitter. 2 for 3 on the game for them, so it's providing some great offense at the bottom of the lineup, as that thing is fouled away there by Kaylor Yates. And Yates with one of the key RBIs in that 5th inning, a big sac fly. This thing is going to bloop out into the outfield and score yet another run here for the Flyers. An RBI single by the superstar of the Flyers. 2 RBIs on the game for him at this point. Moves the score now to 6-0 as Oaks scores on the RBI single by Yates. As really things have just blown open here in these past 2 innings for the Flyers. 3 runs in the 5th, 3 runs in the 6th. Really showing what they are capable of, and really also showing us why they are the number 2 team in the state here in 4A. As things will be high and tight there to Blake Oaks. Count is 1-0 to the Flyers' number 2 hitter. Runners on first and second here for the Flyers with no outs. They've extended their lead now to 6-0. That thing is going to be low. Moves the count now to 2-0. Oaks on the day, 1 for 3. That one hit, though, was a big one. It was a RBI triple again in that 3-run 5th inning. Absolutely crushed it opposite field. A great piece of hitting. Hoping to replicate some of that magic. He fouls that one away, evens up Does not even up the count. My apologies. It's going to be 2-1. Just the first strike of the at bat here for Oaks. Grounded out to first in his first at bat, struck out in his second at bat. But again, that RBI triple, one of those hits that looms large in this one. This one hit towards Pintar. He flips it to first. They get it over to, my apologies, they got it to second base, flipped it over to first. Unable to get the runner over there at first base, but do get the runner at second base. It will put runners on the corners here with one out for the Flyers. So Welch thrown out over there at second base.
Now for Dixie, number 7, the pitcher, Cooper Vest.
Yates now over at third base. Oaks over there at first, and now it brings up Cooper Vest, who has been phenomenal on the mound, but has also provided a little bit of help for the Flyers at the plate as well. He'll take that one for strike one. Has not scored any runs, but did have a single in the first and was intentionally walked in the fifth. So 1 for 2 on the game as he grounded out to first in that second at bat. He will check his swing there, and there will be some indifference there towards the runner as Oaks is able to get himself into scoring position. So runners at second and third for the Flyers here in the bottom of the sixth inning. 1-1 count with one out. Move that count now to 2-1 to Cooper Vest. Again, Vest's been absolutely sensational on the mound thus far for the Flyers. Only allowed 2 hits on the game, has 4 strikeouts, really has just been fantastic. And really is the reason that the Flyers are in the driver's seat in this one. Count is now 3-1 to Vest. This one gets sent over to second base. Nice job by Randolph to knock it down. Gets the out over at first. It will be a ground out there, but it will score a run as Yates is able to score from third on the ground out there. And it will move Oaks over to third base. So another run just 90 feet away for the Flyers as this game is now 7-0. That one taken inside there for ball one to Brendan Blanchard. This one knocked down the third base line, past the glove of Dart, and yet another RBI here in the bottom of the sixth inning as this thing has just kind of gotten sloppy here for the Dons in the past 2 innings. The score now moves to 8-0, a big 5-run bottom half of the sixth inning here for the Flyers. Has put them in complete and total command of this game. So that RBI single off the bat of Brendan Blanchard, who is now 3 for 4 on the game, 2 singles and a double at this point. That one a ball to Reggie Graf. Reggie Graf, the left-handed hitter here for the Flyers. He's going to take that one on the outside corner. A nice pitch from Pintar. Evens up the count here at 1-1. You get a view here of the Salem Hills Skyhawks from our region. They will be playing in the game that immediately follows this one. They will be playing Desert Hills up there in the winner's bracket, hoping to advance to the championship round that starts tomorrow down here at Brucers Field in St. George, hoping to represent the region and give themselves an opportunity to win state. That one's going to get past Horain, and that will move Blanchard over to second base on the pass ball. Count is 3-1 to Reggie Graf. Graf got hit by a pitch in the fourth. Otherwise has really not been on base in this one for the Flyers. Has kind of struggled in this one. He will take that one on the outside corner. So a full count here to Graf. Pintar just a pitch away from finally getting the the Dons out of the bottom half of this one as the Flyers offense has really come alive here in these past 2 innings. 3 runs in the 5th inning and adding to it a little bit more here with 5 runs in the bottom half of the 6th inning. So score 8-0 here. The Dons will need to put together a miracle run here in the top of the 7th to keep their playoff hopes alive. Here's that full count pitch. Graf slaps it foul, keeps himself alive. Again, a view of the Dons dugout, and regardless of the outcome of this one, the Dons have had an absolutely sensational season, able to win Region 10, which is not an easy region. Like, again, as I said, like, a big part of this one has been the fact that both regions have been so stupendous, as we are now going to move to that last frame on Spanish Fork 17.
Nobody plans on getting in an accident, but if it does happen, you can rely on the expertise of Mike McKell to protect and fight for your rights. Specializing in personal injury law, Mike McKell is the attorney you need. Contact Mike at McKell, Thompson & Wise.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
MVP Sports is the #1 source for sporting goods in Spanish Fork. Football, soccer, all the fall sports, we've got you covered. Check out our new custom t-shirt builder. Design at home and we'll build it for you. MVP Sports, 72 North Main in Spanish Fork.
Welcome back to Spanish Fork 17 and our coverage of this for a state playoff game here down on the beautiful campus of Dixie State University at Bruce Hurst Field. This game is an 8-0 game with the Dixie Flyers over our Spanish Fork Dons. Really all of the runs coming at the latter part of this one. This one was scoreless through 4 innings until the Flyers bats finally came alive in the bottom half of the 5th, scoring 3 runs, and then really things got cooking for them in the bottom half of the 6th, scoring 5 runs. So for the Dons, it is going to be a hard task to get themselves back into this one and try to tie this up. They will need 8 runs here in the top of the 7th inning to get things all squared up. So it will be up to Josh Dart to start things off for the Dons. This one is going to be painted beautifully on the inside corner for strike 1, as that is still Cooper Vest on the mound for the Flyers, who has been sensational in this one. The Southpaw definitely living up to his billing as an ace on this particular staff. That one going to be right down Main Street for strike 2, so an early 0-2 hole here to Josh Dart. It'll be Dart, Pintar, and Nielsen up for the Dons here, so 2, 3, and 4, hoping to really get the offense rolling, keep their hopes alive here. That thing fouled away by Dart, so he'll stay alive in this 0-2 count. Again, the winner of this one will play in the game immediately following here. That is the winner's bracket here for the 4A state playoffs. That is Salem Hills up against Desert Hills. That should be a fantastic ball game, as this thing is ripped up the middle. A nice play over there at second base, but an unfortunate throw for him. So a throwing error there over at second after what was a beautifully ranged play over there by Brendan Blanchard. Just being able to get to that was impressive. They will send Dart over to second base on the error there. So Josh Dart does get himself on base here to start the top half of the 7th inning. He is now in scoring position for the ever dangerous Andrew Pintar. Pintar 0 for 2 in this one. His last at bat, though, was a very loud out to center field, as he's going to take that one for strike 1. Grounded out to the second baseman in his first plate appearance. So again, 0 for 2 on the day, but that doesn't mean that he can't get things going here and get his first hit of the game and hopefully get the Dons on the board here. He's going to take that one high and tight for ball 1, so evens up the count here at 1-1. The sun is finally peeking back out over the clouds here at Bruce Hurst Field, so hopefully that means that the rain has gone away for another day and we can be able to keep playing baseball here in St. George. This thing rocked out into right field, but it will definitely tail foul as they give chase, but that one heads over towards the batting cages. Again, a hard game here for the Dons on offense. Still have not found a way to score a run here against ace Cooper Vest for the Flyers. Andrew Pintar hoping to be the one that finally rectifies that, as he's going to take that one high and outside. Evens up the count here at 2-2. Again, Pintar was the one that came in relief of Mason Olson, who really struggled in this one. Only lasted a third of an inning, ending up allowing 3 runs. A check swing there. Fouled off there by Pintar, so he will stay alive here in this count. Up after Pintar will be Cy Nielsen and Hunter Clark. Again, the Dons really needing to just string together base runners and hope that they can just build up a big rally here in the top half of the 7th. They will need 8 runs to tie this ball game up and send it to the bottom half of the 7th. That one going to be in the dirt, so count is 2-2 to Andrew Pintar. Pintar, one of those seniors on this particular Dons squad, and has been such a big part of their success this season, batting in usually the 2 spot or the 3 spot for them, and playing stellar defense over there at shortstop, and even giving them some innings there on the mound as well, as the count is now full to the Dons shortstop. Cooper Vest still in the game here for the Dixie Flyers. Has pitched 6 shutout innings thus far. This one crushed foul there by Pintar, just ahead of that one as that one sails well beyond the practice field over here by left field. Again, this has been 2 straight seasons where the Dons have gotten themselves pretty far here in the playoffs. This season they are here in the semifinals. Last year they were knocked out in the quarterfinals as Pintar holds up on that one and moves himself over to first base on the walk. A nice job there to be patient in the at-bat, and it pays off with a free pass. So he will be over there at first base. Josh Dart still over there at second base. It will bring up the big power hitter Cy Nielsen for the Dons. So still no outs here in the top of the 7th. The 2 leadoff hitters thus far have gotten themselves on base, and now it will be up to Cy Nielsen to keep things rolling here in the top half of the 7th inning for the Dons, hoping to finally get something across here, get themselves on the scoreboard, and get themselves in a place where they can knock Cooper Vest out of this game. This one fouled over into the bullpen of the Dons. So an 0-1 count to Cy Nielsen. Nielsen 0 for 2 on the game, grounded out to third base in his first at bat on a very, very nice play over there at the hot corner. And he struck out in his last at bat in the 5th inning. Nielsen hoping to get his first at bat, first hit of the game. This thing cut on and missed. So no balls and 2 strikes to the big slugger for the Dons. Again, Nielsen's numbers thus far on offense have been pretty ridiculous. He came into this game, according to Max Preps, batting .468, 22 RBIs, 8 doubles, a triple, 2 home runs. Really has been just so important for the Dons in the middle of their lineup. Another one of those key seniors that have gotten them to this spot here in the playoffs. He will check his swing there, moves the count to 1-2. And as important as his contributions have been at the plate, you could argue that he was even more important on the mound this season for the Dons, as he is an absolutely hard-throwing lefty that brings the gas. He almost strikes out 2 batters an inning and has been absolutely sensational. So, again, regardless of what happens, these seniors can hold their heads up proud and know that this was a great season for Spanish Fork as he goes down on strikes on that one. So 1 out here in the top of the 7th inning. Runners on first and second. Brings up Hunter Clark now for the Dons. Clark also 0 for 2 on the game. He lined out to center in his first at bat, struck out in the 5th. Clark hoping to keep the offense rolling here, keep their playoff hopes alive in the top of the 7th here against the Flyers. This one, a beautiful pitch on the outside corner by Cooper Vest. Vest now with 5 strikeouts on the game to go along with only 2 hits through 6 1/3 innings. So as I've been saying all game long, Cooper Vest has been just brilliant for the Flyers on the mound and has just silenced this Dons lineup. This thing a slow roller over towards third base, but perfectly placed down the line, and a bad throw over there will score the first run of the ball game for the Dons. As that is Josh Dart that will score on that play. It will move Andrew Pintar over to third base, and it will move Hunter Clark over to second base on the throwing error over there at third. So finally another hit for the Dons, as that was just a beautiful slow roller down that third base line by Hunter Clark. Finally gets the Dons on the board here in the 7th inning. So the score now 8-1 after that RBI single by Hunter Clark. The runners then able to advance on the throwing error by Knighton. It brings up Noah Conway for the Dons. Another one that is going to be asked to keep the fire burning, keep the rally rolling here in the top of the 7th. So runners in scoring position here for Noah Conway. The count is now 1-0 to him. Again, 12 RBIs on the season for Noah Conway, so he certainly has been asked to be an RBI producer for the Dons this season, and no bigger opportunity to continue that particular trend than right now in a do or die situation here. Count is evened up here, 1-1. Pintar at third and Clark over there at second base. Conway hoping to find some grass and be able to plate at least 1, maybe 2 runs as he spoils that one away. Count is now 1-2 to the Dons right fielder. Morley Bennett and Cade Randolph due up after Noah Conway. Again, all of Dixie's runs scored in the previous 2 innings, 3 of them in the 5th and then 5 of them in the 6th, as he's going to take that one low and outside. Evens up the count at 2-2. The Dons finally getting to Cooper Vest in this one on that RBI single by Hunter Clark. So again, the score 8-1 here in the top of the 7th. The Dons just doing their best to stay alive here, as that is cut on and missed by Noah Conway. A bit of frustration there as he heads over to the dugout. The Dons now an out away from being out of the playoffs and being done for the season. And it will be up to the pinch hit. We have a pinch hitter here, as that is definitely not Morley Bennett. That is number 8, Brad Cloward, up for the Dons. So Cloward digging in as the pinch hitter and the kind of final hope here for the Dons to keep their playoff hopes alive here and have the opportunity to play here tonight in St. George against the loser of the Salem Hills Desert Hills game. He's going to take that first pitch for ball 1. Cloward on the season has been impressive when he's come into pinch hits. He, according to Max Preps, has a perfect average, which interesting. He has 3 hits on 3 at-bats. He has 4 plate appearances, and he's got 3 RBIs in those appearances. So certainly has been a weapon off the bench here for Coach Nelson, as he's going to cut on and miss that one for strike 1, so evens up the count at 1-1. So runners on second and third. Hunter Clark at second. Andrew Pintar over there at third. 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. Spanish Fork hoping to stay alive here in this 8-1 game. That one is going to paint the inside corner. Fantastic pitch from Cooper Vest. That is a pitcher's pitch, if ever I have seen one. You get a little view of the fans here. You saw one of the fans, looks like he's gotten a lot of sun. He was pretty red, and it finally though has cleared up. Though it was raining here for a while. In fact, they had to do a little bit of prep work on the field, as that is the last out of the game. Brad Cloward strikes out with runners on second and third, as Dixie will advance here in the 4A state playoffs. The Spanish Fork Dons, their season done. We will recap this one when we come back on Spanish Fork 17.
Need a new car or truck? Come to the guys you trust. The Car Guys are part of the Blue Diamond Auto Group, and they have the best selection of quality vehicles at the best prices for your budget. The Blue Diamond Auto Group, with the Car Guys at 872 North Main in Spanish Fork.
Finally got me, Ben.
What's that, Rick?
The Clark Street crater, the mother of all potholes. Got me good.
But you know State Farm's got you too.
You ain't nothing.
Go with the one that's here to help life go right.
In Spanish Fork, see your good neighbor State Farm agent Lance Wilson.
Hi, welcome to 2 Jack's Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to 2 Jack's Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork, or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
I definitely recommend the Driggs team. They're amazing.
Hi, I'm Greg with the Driggs Mortgage Team, where we believe there's no substitute for experience. Stop by our office today on Main Street and let us help you get into your brand new home.
Nobody plans on getting in an accident, but if it does happen, you can rely on the expertise of Mike McKell to protect and fight for your rights. Specializing in personal injury law, Mike McKell is the attorney you need. Contact Mike at McKell, Thompson & Wise.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
MVP Sports is the #1 source for sporting goods in Spanish Fork. Football, soccer, all the fall sports, we've got you covered. Check out our new custom t-shirt builder. Design at home and we'll build it for you. MVP Sports, 72 North Main in Spanish Fork.
Welcome back to Spanish Fork 17. Unfortunately for the Dons, the season ends on this game up here against the Dixie Flyers down here in St. George on the beautiful Bruce Hurst field of the beautiful Dixie State University. Unfortunately for the Dons, just unable to generate any kind of offense in this one, as you see the guys getting all packed up here. Unfortunately, just were not able to see the pitches well out of the hand of Cooper Vest, who was brilliant for the Flyers. Ended up with a complete game. Struck out 7, only allowed 4 hits, and just allowed that 1 run off that RBI single by Hunter Clark. For the Dons, it's a disappointing way to end the season, but they did make it all the way to the semifinal round, so certainly have plenty to be proud of. The seniors able to have a nice send-off here for their last year. Think of guys like Cy Nielsen, Andrew Pintar, Tay Newman, all guys that contributed oh so well to this season. So shout out to all of our fantastic seniors and all the work that they did. Again, this team won their region. Like, again, that's no small feat. Again, Salem Hills and Lehigh both made pretty good runs here in the playoffs, and so to make it all this way is certainly a boon to the players and to Coach Nelson and the rest of the coaching staff. And so we are certainly proud of our Dons and all that they have done to get to this place. And unfortunately, they will take this loss and head back home. Watching today for us, we want to give a big shout out to our biggest and best fan, Landon Johnson, who is watching this at home on Spanish Fork 17. We love Landon, and we love that he loves the Dons so much, and by the way. Pete says hi as we get a little bit of dancing from our crew here. That's Spencer giving us some slow grooves there. Looking pretty fancy over there. Our MVP sports of the game, wouldn't want to wrap up without mentioning that. We are going to give that to Mason Nielsen, who started this game for the Dons and really through 4 innings went pitch for pitch with Cooper Vest. This game was scoreless through 4 innings, and Mason Nielsen was a big part of that. He was absolutely brilliant through that, but then just the wheels came off a little bit there in the 5th, ended up giving up 3 runs off of 4 hits. He did strike out 2 through those 4 2/3 innings that he pitched. So really kudos to Mason Nielsen for keeping the Dons in the game for as long as he could, and he is definitely a worthy recipient of our MVP Sports MVP of the game. For our Spanish Fork 17 crew here, this is Andrew LaRose signing off for today. Again, a hard loss here to end the run here in the 4A state playoffs for the Dons. They take this one 8-1, losing it here against the Dixie Flyers. They are going home, but that does not mean this wasn't a very successful season for the Dons. Again, thank you so much from our Spanish Fork 17 crew, and we will see you next season for these Dons on Spanish Fork 17.